afternoon and welcome to Living and Loving Each Day, Bridging Barriers. I have a question for you today, just to kind of set up our beautiful guest today, the beautiful Isabella. So welcome here. Thank you so much for being here today.
Okay. So, yeah, so I am Izabela Kvesic. I am a co-founder and a business coach at Blue Water Performance. And, you know, it's been about 5 years since I started my company, co-founded it with my husband. After 20 years in a corporate career, it was time to really hone in and really understand what success looks like to us and our children, our family, because we have three beautiful teen children. And as you probably know, Suzanne, they require a lot of not only physical um, presence, but also a lot of emotional and mental as they're all growing up. So we decided 5 years ago that we would say no to our corporate careers and really lean into what set our hearts on fire and um, what really resonated to us as parents, as leaders, and we've been really trying to hone in on what is that success. And for us, it's really bringing balance
Mhm.
to our personal life, to our children, and also helping our community. And in the past, we have helped. And I know my husband was the one behind the idea of helping children with special needs. We are actually very blessed. Having three teens that are very active, so it was in a way of giving back to the
Mhm.
universe to be helpful. And I said yes to being part of a distress center board of directors
Mhm.
for a few years to really help the community, help them with any mental maybe challenges that we're going through, because I feel when we are supported and
Mhm.
we can feel empowered, we can create magic. And it
Mhm.
really starts with the parents and then teaching, so the parents then can teach their own children.
Mhm.
And even when we were helping with kids with special needs, we would involve our children in helping the other kids. So really,
Mhm.
doing it as a family to really give back to community, because I really feel when we can show up for the community, and whether it's business community or school community, we've even brought some mindfulness programs into community, especially during COVID and after, to really help with those challenges that
Mhm.
children were going through, and
Mhm.
building that resilience that no matter what happens, it really starts with us. So I think when we're just good human beings, right? Um, when we lean into our purpose, what makes our hearts happy,
Yeah.
and we lean into bringing more of that harmony, I really think not only our life becomes better and more harmonious, but everyone that touches our lives. And
Mhm.
it's like, you pay it forward, and it's like the happiness and the balance and the harmony, it's contagious. When you're
Yeah.
walking down the streets and you are the first person to say hello and smile,
Yeah.
the other person will, eventually do the same. So, yeah, I think when we can really start with us,
Mhm.
we can create beautiful communities.
Mhm. So thank you so much. And where are you situated right now? Where are you sitting physically?
In my office in Burlington, Ontario.
in Ontario. So you're Canadian, you're fellow Canadian, and it's so
I
that's
am.
that's why I enjoy talking with you when we've spoken in the past, because it's so nice
Mhm.
to just associate and know that so many great things are going on right across the country. Because we're in Alberta here, of course, but
That's
I just
right.
love what you're doing. So tell us a little bit more about what your program involves and how people can get in touch with you about, and what you're specifically looking for, for people for your program.
Sure. I mean, this year for the first time, I started, and it was something in the works for a couple of years, but I was a little nervous because most of our coaching from like the blue water side has been done in person, and I wanted to make sure that or on Zoom, but it was mostly one-on-one. That's what I mean, in person, one-on-one, and really how we can create more impact. Um, I really think when we start with, especially, well, I love working with women because
Yes.
I can really relate to, as a mom, as a leader, as a business owner. I really can relate to what goes on in mom's life, and how we are nurturers. And I think when we embrace it more, and we show up for ourselves first, it's like they say, you got to put your oxygen mask first. So the program I created was more around empowering yourself and amplifying your personal brand, how
Mhm.
you show up in the world, as a business owner, business professional. Because when we feel empowered, we can really impact
Mhm.
positively those
Mhm.
around us. And when you lean into your own genius and your superpowers, versus when people always look at, and I think it's part of the society and how we're trained when we go to school. We're always look onto things like our weaknesses, or the things we
Mhm.
have to continuously develop. But we all know we are all born with the gifts. And
Mhm.
when we can nurture the gifts and explore them a little bit more and embrace them more, we can really create beautiful impact. So
Mhm.
the program I created is really looking into, how do you embrace and unleash your personal genius so that you can make more impact in the world and be also more visible externally.
Okay.
Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of the idea behind it was starting
Mhm.
with you and leaning into your genius, leaning into your superpowers and values. Because I
Mhm.
think when we get clear on what is that impact we're here to make,
Mhm.
and also when we're clear on the values that lead our decision
Mhm.
and our behavior and our actions, we can really become magnetic to those that
Mhm.
share those similar values. But sometimes I
Mhm.
feel, um, we can forget, right? Because life gets so busy.
Yeah.
Throw business into the mix, few children into the mix, and it gets forgotten. And you get on this, always on this chase. But when we create space, and I like, I like to do those empowered Wednesdays.
Ah,
And for me is the day where I actually, even, it doesn't have to be anything, uh, crazy.
no.
It can be 5-10 minutes, just
Yeah.
sitting in silence and just asking yourself what's working for you, what's
Mhm.
not working, what would you like to invite more of so you feel
Mhm.
empowered.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful practice. Yeah,
Mhm. The audience that I have, and that my target audience, are parents of children with adaptive needs, and so,
yeah,
and a lot of them are entrepreneurs. So, and
yeah,
we called this episode "Bridging Barriers" to as an
yeah.
entrepreneur. So, what will you see? What do you see most often of the barriers that those parents are facing?
You know, I think, and it's funny that you say, with the barriers. I think not really having clear boundaries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and it can be professional boundaries and also personal boundaries. And especially when parents do leave their own well-being as last.
Mm-hmm. That self-care component is sometimes non-existent. I know that. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, exactly. And I always talk about this. It becomes non-negotiable for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, for me to know, and this is when I work with my clients, whether they have, children that have, whether they are special needs or they're just really busy entrepreneurs, the first thing we talk about, whether it's a business plan they need or right, some executive coaching, we really talk about what is that success to you and what do you need to let go of to
Mm-hmm.
create more space for the yeses? So you
Mm-hmm.
got to create, right? So we go through an exercise. Okay, what are some of your, like I call it the energy audit.
Okay.
And right, so we do what are those energy, well, I like to use hard term like energy vampires, whether it's whether they are the things you're doing.
Yeah.
There could be activities or tasks or the people in your life that maybe, you know what, it needs to become a hard no,
Mm-hmm.
or you delegate or you outsource,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't do everything. And
Mm-hmm.
when we move away from doing the things we don't like, or this is where it's like it's not our creative genius, our energy gets drained.
Yes.
So, right?
Oh
And
gosh.
when we feel empowered, when we are doing the things we love
Mm-hmm.
and really getting clear on that. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
doing that energy audit. What helps you feel expanded
Mm-hmm.
versus the things that are pulling away the energy, and very fast you're like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness, right? I maybe I should do less of X
Mm-hmm.
versus the Y. And what are those non-negotiables
Yes.
so you can show up fully? So for me, so that my self-care or my clients doesn't become something, on the bottom of the list, and then the day happens and before you know it's over.
Mm-hmm.
um, I do my morning routine,
Mm-hmm.
and there will be, I think later on we'll share a link. People
Yeah.
can grab a free a power 5-minute morning routine tool I put together.
Okay.
But it's really being intentional,
Mm-hmm.
intentional with your day. What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to let go of? What may be some challenges that could come up, but how can you overcome it? So before they happen, you already
Yes.
start to brew some ideas, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then setting that intention, because I think when we set intention, it becomes like an anchor for us for the rest of the day. And my morning routine, always, always, that's my non negotiable, includes either a mini walk, literally could be 5 minutes, whether it's in a nearby park or near water where I ground. And sometimes, yes, my husband makes fun of me a little bit, but he gets it. Where I do, I hug a tree or I ground myself. I take off my shoes
Yeah.
and socks and I just stand, whether on the grass or sand. But I really do, and that's when I make it my intention how I want to show up for that day.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives me that energy to show up
Mm.
fully for my beautiful family, my
Exactly.
clients, my business community, my personal community.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I know I'm happy and empowered,
Oh,
I can empower those around me.
yeah, and we can't do it until we are. That self-awareness is so important to bring that, just that
Yeah.
understanding and knowing when your boundaries are being tread upon and when you need to
Yes.
speak up and when you need to ask for help and when you
Yeah.
specifically need to take care of yourself. If there's a moment, like you said, and you're not
Yeah.
in that space where it's a really positive space, because as you said, we are influencing our children and we want to be in that positive positive space for
Yeah.
them. So no,
Yeah.
this is wonderful. So then your program helps women to kind of identify the things that they need to set maybe their boundaries, and then their steps to in get I guess attaining their goal as whatever they're
That's
setting
right.
in their business.
Yes,
Mm,
in their business and their personal life. So
mhm,
there's a whole bunch of different exercises and really how they want to, what do they want to be known for from
mhm,
their expertise perspective
mhm,
and the impact they're trying to create. And then
mhm,
we talk about, okay, how do we bring that to life through
mhm,
some business strategies and
mhm,
mindset strategies? We really focus on what is their mission and their purpose,
mhm,
and then how do we share it with the rest of the world so they
mhm.
can actually make the impact they're here to make.
Mhm. Mhm. And I think too, just to remind them that they're really important and valuable, and that they've so
Yes,
much for them that they can offer. And I think some of the parents I talk to, they just feel so overwhelmed that they don't feel like they can even share with
yes,
anybody because what's on their plate all in the personal, in their personal lives is just too overwhelming to even contemplate a business. But I know that
yes,
once we share with them, like this is,
yeah.
in some of my coaching as well, it's like this, like you have a lot to share and you have a lot that you want to help other people to because they'll
Mhm.
learn from your experiences. So I yeah,
Exactly,
that
exactly. And there is a fun thing we started to do as a family. So at the end of the year, and this could be something very helpful for your audience today.
yeah.
We talk about our wins as a family for 2024, and then we talk about our dreams and we create vision boards. And anyone can do this, right? So we do it as a family. So holistically, everyone kind of finds whether it's inspiring quote or word or the things they want for that particular, so next year, 2025, and we create like this beautiful vision board, and is our family vision board. So it's our dreams and our goals on this board that we put it in a common area, so that we continuously as a family we strive to support each other. And it's a beautiful exercise because then, the kids are not wondering, Mommy, like, where are you going? Like, if you, right? If I said, yeah, I want to join this community, or I was speaking the other day at Burlington Chamber of Commerce
Mhm,
to welcome new members in, and we talked about a few strategies.
mhm,
But that was important to me to give
mhm,
back. So then they're not questioning, like, oh, where are you going tonight? It's like, oh, yeah, it's on your vision board, right? So
mhm.
achieving the dreams together, but
Oh,
also knowing that we are all individuals. So maybe that's something your audience can do. I'm
mhm,
running a free, or I don't know if we'll be able to put in notes, but I'm running a free
mhm.
workshop at 7 p.m. Eastern time this Thursday.
Okay,
So if someone wants to, contact me, I can send them a link to register. But it's really about empowered planning for 2025.
good.
Um, and another exercise that I've done with kids that was quite successful,
Yeah.
um, if you are not into a vision board, you could do almost like a mindful, empowered bingo.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and you do it as a family. So you create, right, like a whole bunch of squares together, and you put, whether it's like, okay, we want to achieve um, bring more health into family. All right, everyone has to, I don't know, let's say exercise twice
Yeah,
a week, or right, or help in a garden,
yeah.
or be kind to each other, or write a beautiful, kind letter, or
Mhm,
create like this empowering bingo card for family.
mhm.
So both
Nice.
parents and kids, yeah. And when you check it off,
Ooh.
whether you throw a party, or the reward could be the whole family is going to a movie night,
Yeah.
so you decide a reward. So that's also like, we had some chores on it. I needed my kids to contribute a little bit more. So it could be really fun exercise
Oh,
that,
that's a
just inviting more fun.
and that's a great to inspire them to think along those lines for their future plans too. It puts them in that mindset to that we're in this together, and we're doing these things together, and we can do this. I love that.
Yes,
Yeah, anything to
yes.
do with the family, and that's anybody. I don't think people would feel overwhelmed to do that. I think that's something that would be actually a fun exercise to do to get everyone involved.
Yes,
Isabel, you've got great ideas, and when we spoke before, that's why I was so excited to have you on today, because it's so great to hear just a little. I hope everyone is a little bit inspired today, just to hear a little bit from you and what you're doing.
thank
What
you.
we'll do though for sure is in the Facebook. We're live, as you know, in YouTube and Facebook, and I'll make sure that there's a link put in the comments, just so that everyone
Beautiful.
will see that, because we'd love to take advantage of your free gifts. So tell everybody, how can they get, just before we kind of log off here, how can they get in touch with you, and where can they find you?
Okay, great question. Great question. So yeah, you can find me whether if you're on Facebook, just Google Izabela Kvesic on Facebook. If you're on Instagram, I'm most active under We Are Blue Water. And there's a whole thing around blue water, right? Like when you plan and you are, it's like that blue ocean and red ocean strategy. Red ocean, think about sharks and it's bloody and it's chaotic, right? So think blue water, but
Blue
it's
Water.
We Are Blue Water. And if you're on LinkedIn, just my name, Izabela Kvesic.
Okay.
And yeah, I would love to help if
Oh,
anyone has any questions or need a tool. I invite everyone to
mm,
DM me and I'll be happy to send. I also created a community called She Source Collective
mhm,
for professional women. And that's where often I share free tools.
mhm,
Sometimes I do lives sharing any tips and tricks to live empowered, more harmonious life and lead a business that it's purpose driven, heart driven,
mhm.
and empowered.
Well,
Yeah.
that's exactly why you're on today. I'm so glad that you joined us today. Thank you so much, Isabella.
Thank you for having me.
So you're a beautiful guest. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us today on Living and Loving Each Day, Bridging Barriers. We want to kind of overcome any of those barriers that each and every one of us face, during the day and the week and the year. And we want to kind of build up and get prepared for a new year coming up right away too. So I hope you found this conversation exciting and just inspiring. And Isabel Kvesic, you are inspiring to me. So I really appreciate you so
Thank you
much.
kindly.
And if
Thank
you,
you
if,
for
if
having me.
you, thank you. If you enjoyed this episode today, just take a moment to subscribe and leave a review. And I'm at suejansen.ca. And just don't forget to visit and to check out the resources that we're both offering today. So everybody, thank you so much for being here. And I just really appreciate you. And thank you for tuning in. This is great. Like and share. That's the thing, right? We want them to like and
Thank you.
share. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for being
Thanks
here.
so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.